Yes, I'm Vamp, and today I shall be playing the Magic Man as I'm wont to do. And I am joined today by my lovely friend. Babble, why don't you introduce yourself?
Hi, I'm Babble. I'm still very tired. Hi.
Me grabbing Babble. Are you sure you can do this? We can reschedule.
Nah, I'm good. I'll be all right. Don't rap me. What are you doing?
Sure.
E. It's just gonna take me
Alright,
a
no
minute to
problem.
get into it. I'll be
Yeah,
all right.
for context, it's pretty early for the both of us. However, it's like the only time that works for both of us as well.
Yeah,
A pensive emoji and shakes hand at real life things.
very much so. Jesus Christ.
Anyway, jumping into it. I imagine it's probably a really nice day outside, and it's the weekend, which means that you know, Marcel doesn't really have work on weekends because Kester's in studio,
Mhm.
and when you're probably back home when you hear a knock on the door.
Oh boy. All right. Winn, being the ever so lovable moron that he is just going to go over and answer the door without asking who it is first. Because why?
Yep. And honestly, I can't even say anything because Marcel would have done the exact same thing. But in fairness, in Marcel's defense, he does have luck. But anyway, when you open the door, and thankfully it's not someone come to kidnap you or kick your ass, whatever. It is just your nephew who kind of like smiles and gives you a wave, and it's just like, oh, hey, Win.
Hi, it's. What time is it? And he's looking for his clock, doesn't see it, isn't really gonna bother. You know what, never mind, I don't really care what time it is. What? What brings you over? Come on in.
Oh,
And he steps
yeah,
aside
imagine.
to let Marcel in.
Yeah, and Sel comes in and I imagine at this point, like Sel has visited Wynn's home quite a, quite a while, quite like a few times.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so he isn't very that awkward or nervous as he comes in, and he's just like, "Oh, hmm, it's the weekend, so I thought I'd check on you and the girls and Pain, and I thought we could cook together or something."
Uh, Unfortunately, Payne took the girls to the hall to get some supplies. They aren't. They aren't here
Uh,
right now.
He does look mildly sad at that, like, ah, you wanted to meet the girls. But he shakes his head and goes, ah, well, I probably should have called ahead and said I was coming, so that's on me.
Oh, you're good. You're free to visit whenever you want. I'll be sure to let them know. Uh, they shouldn't be too long? Question mark. Um,
It cuts to them in Spellcaster's Hall, and, like, for some reason, they are, like, waiting in a very long line.
yeah, it's like a sand dragon or some shit there.
Yeah, when you jinxed it.
Win exists, and so he accidentally jinxes things.
Yeah, and I think, like, Cell just kind of like laughs a little at that. It's just like, all right, well, that's not all I'm here to do. I thought, well, you've mentioned multiple times that you like cooking and baking, and I've seen you do so a few times, but I thought maybe we could try doing that together.
Sure. At the moment, actually, I've got cookies in the oven.
Oh, okay.
What exactly did you have in mind? Because, like, and if you look
Bro.
around, actually, you know what? Would Mersel like to roll a perception check?
Oh, yeah, sure. 13.
13. There are definitely a fuck ton of cookbooks around.
Hmm.
There are some that are just kind of haphazardly stacked, some in a couple of
Hmm.
open shelves. He's got a lot of recipes, but at the moment it
Yeah.
seems like on the table there is a particular box of recipes that he's got open.
Yeah, and I think Cell sees this one and it's just like points at it. Oh, that one's new.
Oh, um, yeah, and he goes over to it because it's the box itself is new. The recipes inside are actually rather old. Yes. Um, Flamingo
Is
got
Winn not?
this the
Oh,
box for me
oh,
a
I
couple
see.
days ago.
I think like Mersel like looks at it, like looks it over, and it's just like and it's just like oh, what recipes are in here?
Um, some of them are my best friend Jenny's that I may or may not have stolen. Not re- I didn't steal the whole recipe, just copied it. Don't worry about it. And he's kind of looking off to the side, like she would kill me if she knew that I had these.
Oh, who's your best friend?
um, her full name is Janelope. Very good friend of
Jan
mine. Um,
Janelope?
Janelope Dabthew.
Oh, he kind of like furs his brow. I've never heard of her. But then again, I've not heard a lot of things about you.
Understandable. Um, in her defense, she is a little bit of a hermit, as most Danthews tend to be.
Hmm.
Her and I have been best friends for around 30 years, if not more than that. Pretty sure more than 30 years, because, dear God, we share the same birthday. Um, Me, her, and her twin.
Oh, well, I'm glad that you all are such close friends then.
Yeah, no, I'm gonna roll insight. When
Hey, I
you're
mean,
fucking blind.
when my beloved, I mean, you can roll insight, but like genuinely, Marcel's just like, oh yeah, I'm glad that you all are good friends.
What about you,
Like,
though?
I imagine he does not like know the full details of what gestures.
Yeah, no, I don't think they know the full details about each other at all.
Yeah,
What
yeah. I
about you,
mean,
though?
I'm not, I, what do you mean? What about me?
Tell me about your friends, if you would like.
Oh, my best friend? Well, that'd be Lucky Shark.
Lucky Jack. Lucky Jack.
Mm-hmm. He Marcel grins at this and specifically like waits for Win to be like picking up a book or something before he goes. I met him when he got me into jail.
I imagine he was thinking, because I'm having him roll a history to see if he knows anything about Jack. It's a dirty
Yeah,
20.
yeah, yeah. Okay. Yeah, definitely. Your girls have dragged you to watch Toto Studio movies so many times. You have a Pavlovian response to his name.
Alright. Um, but then he does a spit take almost. Actually, I'm gonna roll him a con.
Oh no, that's a
It's a 5. He takes a sip of what is probably his hot cocoa and then just.
Is it the anime Split It Up? It is. Mersel is grinning at Winn. He's grinning.
Excuse me.
Yes?
Bart, say that again, please.
I met him when he got me into jail.
What? Why?
Oh, he scammed a few people, stole something, was running away from this angry mob with that something. I was standing at the corner eating a cupcake. He ran by, stopped, shoved the suitcase into my arms, and then ran off. And they thought I was an accomplice.
What? I. He's. He's set down his cup by this point and is doing prayer hands, and he seems to be thinking and questioning. But then the prayer hands
But
lower as he himself thinks about his own friendships and how they started.
yeah,
Gestures at
God,
Baba.
yeah. And then Marcel's just like, but he broke me out of jail, so it's fine. He stole my wallet right after, though. It was kind of something to see him again in Dodo Studios as co-workers. He kept bothering me in the kitchen, and then we kind of grew on each other, basically. He's There is a pause here for Marcel, kind of like, I, he's the only only one of my friends who knows the full breadth of my family and stuff like that.
Ah, understandable. I would question. I would have questions if it weren't for the fact that that is
Yeah, sure.
quite
What's the
possibly.
question?
Oh no, I don't actually have questions now that I think about it. Um, that just seems to be how the two of us make friends.
Yeah, God, I imagine like Vince nodding at this and putting the lifting the glass back to his mouth, and like Marcel waits for him to take a sip, and it's just like, besides, it's not like, I mean, I met my family when we were when we were all accused of like having stolen an important artifact at an island, and we all jumped out of a window together.
I don't even think he really gets the chance to take a sip before he's just having to set down his cup again, and he's just rubbing, like, he's lifted up his glasses and he's rubbing the bridge of his nose. If you want to make a perception check on his glasses, by the way, you're free to.
Yeah, sure. 21.
21. Oh boy. Okay. So the part or the side that's always covered by his hair is actually blacked out.
Oh. No, that makes sense though. Like Ursula actually like, yeah, that makes sense.
I don't remember if does Marcel know about the one eye?
Oh yeah, Win showed him.
Oh shit, that's right. I forgot.
Yeah, and Sal's like, oh yeah, that makes sense. But he's also kind of distracted by looking at how Wynn's reacting.
That's fair as fuck. Uh, Win isn't having a bad reaction. Honestly, you can see his shoulders shaking with that high of a perception, anyways.
Me,
He's trying not
me.
to laugh.
Okay, good. You said bad reaction, and I was like, wait, what? Is Win breaking down? But if it's just like trying not to laugh, then like Sal kind of like relaxes and yep, shit-eating grin on his face.
If it were anyone else, I would probably be surprised. But I reiterate the fact that that seems to be how I've been meeting all of my friends
Mm-hmm.
as of late.
Me, I mean, we are tunes. Roselle points out.
As true as that is, admittedly, I'm not quite that used to the antics being this much. I grew
Mm,
up after things, and he does like a slight gesture of a sort of hand wave with his free hand. Not really
Roselle
sure what else to do.
winces. Roselle winces and like yeah, when he gets it. He's drumming his fingers on the table a little. It's just like yeah, I get that. I well, things didn't get so hectic for me until I took my pack.
Understandable. Um, I grew up with a real kind after that, though.
Oh, you did?
Mm-hmm.
Uh, who was he? Or her? Or they actually?
Oh boy. Let's see. Do I have any photos of him on the wall, or do I need to go and grab my hat? And he is going to make a perception check. He probably does. That's a 19. Yeah, he finds a photo. And immediately he just kind of yoinks it off the wall because, it's what he does. He can put it back, it's fine.
Hmm.
Alright. It's this wonderful gentleman right here. And he points to a picture of Zan and him, but
I am trying to God, because now I remember that Mersel has like canonically met Blink, and now I am desperately trying to remember if Blink has at any point whatsoever in the whole game mentioned Zan. I don't think he did. So I'm just gonna say that Mersel takes a look at this guy and does not recognize him at all. And it's just like, oh, he seems like a really nice guy.
you want to roll an insight.
I mean, sure. Let me roll inside. 13.
I can't give you all of it, but you at the very least know that there is indeed a lot of affection towards this man.
Mm, yeah, and Cell sees that, and Cell's like, um, I'm glad that you had someone after all that.
I talked to Vala recently, by the way, and I'm bringing this up
Oh,
because it is relevant.
oh, you talked to Miss Viva? Like, Marcel's perking up. How are you two getting along?
Quite well, actually. I did not expect.
Miss Viva, Miss Viva is a good person. Of course, you both would hit it off.
Well, It is nice to know that you had her when I could not be there.
Roll inside.
He's looking very affectionately at Mersel because he's glad that poor Mersel at least had someone for a little bit.
I'll
That's
give you advantage on Gus, because you are looking directly at him right now. Oh my good golly,
Did he
one of
forget
the
to put
luck.
his glasses back on?
He might have. God, I can't give you anything. I'm so sorry. That's
No,
so
you're
fucking low.
fair. That's fair.
But to us, like to the players, we saw winced for a second at that.
Understandable. Have a nice day. Winn.
It's like, because technically speaking, Marcel appreciates Viva so much. Marcel loves Viva so much. But technically speaking, he only had her for like a year before they both got estranged due to miscommunication issues.
Yeah, that's
It-
understandable.
yeah,
And admittedly, Winn doesn't know how long they were in each other's lives. But even just that a little bit is better than not at all. And that's more so
yeah,
what he is happy about. Because he knows that
yeah,
not
yeah.
everyone
Which
is
is
just
why,
together
like,
for a while.
yeah, Itsel's not gonna say anything. He acknowledges it. He's really glad that like he had Miss Viva. It's more like yeah, after like he was not in a good place after they couldn't like talk to each other.
Understandable.
Yeah, me holding Marcel, this boy has so much trauma.
I cry.
Don't worry about it. But I think Sel actually looks at Win and goes, actually, this does bring to mind something.
Hmm?
That did you bake something for Miss Viva recently?
I have not, but I will be. Not quite yet.
Um, hmm, me nodding. Okay, so out of character, has the soda bread event happened yet?
No, not yet. I was going to wait to do that until Hex and I could figure
Okay.
out a date to do that.
Oh yeah, yeah. All right. I was just trying. I was just making sure to make sure I knew which where we are in canon. Okay. I
There's
think
the
Marcel like I think Marcel like nods and goes, um, well, kind of like kind of shrugs. When I was a kid and first learning how to bake, I would make her make her stuff, mostly
Mhm.
bread because that was the only thing I knew how to bake.
Bread is one of the most difficult things to bake, and that's what you started
Oh
with.
yes, I am aware. I'm aware of this now. Like you look at his expression, it's like, yeah, I'm aware. I literally started off on the hardest thing to bake.
I think by now Win has put the photo back on the wall, has put on his glasses, and now he's just like turning to look at you with like a confused, but not really like too confused smile. It's like confused and impressed.
I didn't know about the bread being the hardest thing to bake part at first. I thought, oh, it's just bread. It's surely easier than cake or something.
Oh, goodness.
But it's just bread. It's just, flour and yeast. How, like, it doesn't even have that many more ingredients.
He's rubbing his face. Like, Oh, goodness. But he doesn't really know how else to react, and he's just gonna tuck that away for a different day, as he kind of does a small, not goofy gestures. We can discuss that a different day. Dude, I have plenty of recipes in there
Oh yes,
if you would like to
Pig
pick
Brian
one.
said that. Alright, and Rizal's gonna look them over.
There's a lot of different kinds of bread. There's also a lot of soups. There's a lot of different cookies, cakes, other desserts. There are also some that are magic infused. Given the fact that they say do not pull out when Jenny is here, you can assume that those are the ones that he copied from Janelope's notebook.
Marcel's just looking at him like, did she not know you are copying these?
No.
I won't snitch, and Marcel just goes back to looking over the recipes.
And he says that with, like, looking away as he's taking a drink.
Yep.
In my defense, she's done the same damn thing to me.
You know what? That's extremely fair, and that is disturbing. She sounds disturbingly similar to, what you both had sounds disturbingly similar to my friendship with Lucky Jack.
Our friendship, hard to explain. So, okay. We do this thing, and that we've done since we were kids. What I like to call, or what, and he pauses because he was about to say something different. He was about to say my dad for the audience, but instead he's going to say Zan, the human in the photo.
Oh, yes.
What Zan likes to call Bakermancy. We have done
Bakermancy?
this ever since we were children. Um, there may or may not have been a time in which one of our cakes came to life and exploded.
Oh, and just like that, Marcel understands everything. He nods.
um,
I'm looking directly at the kind of friends Marcel has, including Pam, and I'm just like, you know what? That tracks. He would know about this.
so it was our 10th birthday, I believe. And her twin was upstairs doing whatever it is that they do. Neither of us really cared at the time. We were excited about the fact that we were turning 10. And she wanted to make gingerbread molasses cookies. Well, she said to put as much ginger as possible, and by as much I mean all. And, well,
Hmm.
I don't have the greatest depth perception. I did not grab anything that even remotely resembled ginger. And,
Oh boy. Marcel winces.
yeah, it gets even worse. Stay with me. Um,
Oh,
I think I remember putting Bane, dancing lights, Don't ask me why I put Bane. I don't know. We just smashed all of our magic into it, as much of it as we could.
Oh no.
Uh-huh. Let
I
me.
I imagine like Cell's having war flashbacks to when a long, long time ago, when he was first starting out, he tried to use magic to shortcut the baking,
Mhm.
basically, and did not end well. It didn't end with like the baking stuff actually coming alive to such a disastrous degree because he didn't like shove that much magic into it, but it still didn't end well.
Oh, they shoved like up in the double digits of their magic into it. There were so many spells.
Yeah,
So I
yeah,
remember
he's
shoving
hearing
in.
this, and it's Mercel's turn to do the prayer hands.
Chromatic orb was another one that I had put in.
Chromatic orb?
Yes.
Why would you put that in?
I don't know. Jenny didn't say not to.
He has his head in his hands. But also, like, at the same time, this is like mostly just him, like, having it up a little, like, their tunes, and also, he's done worse than this. Admittedly, not in the realm of baking, but he's done worse than this. And again, he can see himself or Jack doing this.
Um,
It's just like, what happens next?
well, it came to life in the oven, and then I fireballed it, and then it ran
When?
off in the rest of the. Yeah, the kitchen was destroyed, very much so. It ran off once we opened the oven, and for like a good 10 minutes, Jenny and I were chasing it around the lower floor of the house until her twin, Henrik, came downstairs and we asked for help and then it exploded. Um, and
Ah,
we ended up. By that time, I had locked all of the doors and windows with arcane lock in desperate hope that it wouldn't escape.
did it escape?
No, it just exploded and made a mess of the entire lower floor of the house. And after that, Henrik, Janelope, and I went up into their room and out the window because their parent had come home, and we ran off. We ran off to wherever
Oh,
it
you
was that
must
I
have.
was staying at the time.
Yeah, you can roll insight on Cell if you want. Six. Okay,
Win.
when you see shit. But for the players, like when Winn was like, oh, their parents come home, like their Cell had been like kind of nervous, like, oh, is something bad gonna happen? Before logic kicked in, and it's like, ah, yes, not all parents are like that, TM.
Understandable. And honestly, Wynn didn't really know their parents that well. Primary thing that they knew, or that he knew, was that. I mean, they exploded a cake in the house, and also Wynn fireballed the kitchen.
Oh my god.
So he would have been in trouble.
Yeah, yeah, he sure would have.
But Wynn is very much so laughing because he still thinks it's funny.
Oh, don't get me wrong. Sal's like chuckling too, because it is funny.
When he's also a bit of an ass, though, I remember very distinctly her faking dead and me crying. Because I
Faking her
believed
death?
it.
Faking her death? How?
I quite frankly, I do not remember. I just remember her doing a really good job at faking that she was dead on the floor, and me, the 10-year-old that I was, just bawling my eyes out to her twin, thinking that it was true. Until she came back to life and we started fighting.
Oh my goodness. And he's just like chuckling and shaking his head. It's just like, she sounds lovely.
She is wonderful and I adore her very much.
Perhaps I'll be able to meet her one day.
I would love for you to meet her. I would love for. I would like to show her to the world, but. Because I would.
Out of curiosity, out of character, has Winn even fucking told Genelope about Cell? Or is he gonna rock up on her doorstep someday with Mersel and be like, hi, yes, this is my nephew, with zero context and explanation?
Um, her and Winn talk about everything.
Ah, okay, no, that makes sense.
Yee. Um, in a sense, I will say that it the relationship that these two have is a lot like the relationship that um Mersel and Jack have.
Yeah, I was about to say, Mersel is seeing the parallels, but he's not saying anything.
Winn does not see the parallels. He don't see shit.
Winn, my beloved,
Just having a good time.
is having a good time. He's having a good, funky time.
If you wanted to make one of her recipes, I don't think we could try to go as chaotic as that. I cannot guarantee that it won't explode.
I'm gonna roll a wisdom save.
But that is part of the
Okay,
fun.
that's a dirty 20. You look at Marcel. He looks so tempted. Then, like, he kind of like looks around the house and it's just like, I don't want to make Pain and the girls go home to an exploded kitchen.
I come home to an exploded kitchen all of the time. It would not be the first time that I have enacted payback.
Fair enough. However, Sal kind of like shuffles his feet and it's just like, and you kind of like hear him say in a really like quiet voice because he's a bit embarrassed. Just like, I thought I'd make them something nice.
Hmm. Um, roll me a perception.
Sure, fun. 18. That's actually really decent.
Yee-hoo. You see Win open his mouth, but then he stops, and it looks like he's hearing something that you can't hear.
Marcel kind of looks his head at that and goes, "What are you listening to?"
um, he holds up a finger for a moment, and he seems to be looking in the direction, or at the out the kitchen window.
Can Cell look over with head? Because let's be honest, Cell is tall enough to do that.
You can. There's nothing there. He's just looking in that direction. And then he mutters a soft, "Alright, just be home as soon as possible, I suppose. Um, definitely before sundown,
What?
because that's when the gate will close."
What were you listening to?
Uh,
Oh, Jane sending or something.
mm-hmm.
I
Um,
see. Yeah, and so not.
um, seems that I may have jinxed them. They will be there for a while. Hopefully not.
You did.
Hopefully
Maybe
they won't be
perhaps
in
you
the
should
hall for a
tell all your
while. Pardon?
or the like results just coincidence like stopping Win before Win says anything like, I mean, how long could it take?
Whoops. Alright. That's nice.
Well, it's fine. With any luck, they'll be home. With any luck, they'll be home. Not at an ungodly hour, and he kind of taps like the sigil on his chest as he says that.
I certainly hope. As long as they're home around dinner, that would be nice. And he's
Hmm.
gonna knock on the wooden counters, because now he
Yeah,
does not trust that.
smart, Win, smart. Think like as they head over to the kitchen and start baking for pain and stuff. Do you want to roll an insight, Win?
Mm-hmm. I love insight. Since it'll be a while
And
since they're
the
home.
DC wasn't actually that high, but when as you're baking together, you realize a few things in successive order. One, Marcel came here of his own accord instead of having to be invited. Two, earlier Marcel was pecking a little shit at you. He specifically waited for you to drink before he dropped that little bombshell. And three, that might be more comfortable around you right now. Just over the fact that he would be a little shit around you instead of like stepping on eggshells.
He isn't going to comment on any of that. I think he did clock the whole being a little shit and intentionally waiting for him to drink before being a little shit and dropping those bombs, because he definitely
Yeah.
noticed the second time at the very least.
Yeah, like Sel was being very obvious about it.
But he's not going to comment. He's just gonna file those away and just enjoy the time. And while they are baking, um, he is going to talk. So, since they will probably be gone longer than expected, it is possible for us to just go ham either after making what we want to for Flamingo and the girls.
And Marcel thinks about this. You're grinning, and like you see him like roll up like his coat sleeves and like sweater sleeve, just like how much do you know about Tula Studios, place I work at?
I will be entirely honest with you, Marcel. I unfortunately know shit nor dick.
Fair enough. Let's just say that. Let's just say that well, it's a studio with over 100 people to cook for,
Oh,
and
goodness.
out of this 100 people, we have people like Lucky Jack and the engineer who eats glow sticks sometimes, or light bulbs, or eggshells, or Prim who comes into the kitchen every now and then when it's unattended to nibble on all the food. Or Tobias, who insists on eating lava soup even though it burns him, quite literally. Um,
God.
I think I think I'd be able to get this done very quickly, and I think I deserve a chance to let loose every now and then.
If it explodes, that's the wizard way. And he does that
Just to be
while
sure,
putting
though.
what he has in the fridge to savor, and he does it in the most nonchalant, if it explodes, fuck it, kind of way.
Yeah, and Sal's just like squinting at him, like, you do know prestidigitation, though, right?
No. Not anymore.
That's fine. I do. Like he gestures with his hand. I do. So if nothing else, and we explode the kitchen, I'd be able to clean it up really quick.
I can also just grab the cleaning supplies from the cabinet.
Oh yeah, that too.
So there is always that option as well. We don't have to use our
Yeah.
magic for it.
Hmm.
We
Yeah.
can just
Gosh.
make things explode and have fun. And he
Yeah.
has a very enthusiastic bastard grin.
I think Marcel is having a revelation over who he got it from, basically.
He is rubbing his hands together and he has gloves on, by the way.
Yeah.
Dark blue
Sal does.
gloves.
Yeah, Sal does take his off. Like he does take his gambit gloves off, because those are magic items, and you don't want them to get destroyed, like during magical experimentation. Also, it was a gift from someone. He doesn't want it to get destroyed.
Understandable.
Yeah. And I was
Winn.
like, as we're puttering around the kitchen, I assumed the bake result is just like, so, well, anything interesting happened lately you want to talk about?
Mm, hmm. And this is him genuinely thinking. Uh,
Yeah, and again, I was more asking like in general, like, oh, is there like something like maybe the girls have come up with something or etc. etc. More in general rather than anything specific.
ye. And honestly, outside of just trying to wrangle the girls a lot, he's remembering very vaguely telling Vava so many jokes that she was dying of laughter. And he smiles and he says, well, for one, I got Madame Vava to nearly die of laughter by telling her all of the dad jokes that that Zan told me over the years.
Oh no, like Mersaltus says, oh no, because oh shit, he might have to look forward to Miss Veva using those on him then.
I distinctly remember her shoving her hand on my mouth to get me to shut up.
Um, and like he grins, it's just like, oh, Winn.
I have a wealth of dad jokes, and they're all horrible, and that's a nat 1 on a performance.
Oh,
He
that's
doesn't
so
even
bad.
get to put
That's so
his hand in the fucking batter before just explosion.
yep. And Sol doesn't even flinch, quite honestly. Because again, this guy Sal's been Sal like Sal as Sal has done a lot basically. I still don't think that Win has I still think that Win has doesn't have like the full idea of what Sal's day to day looks like.
Probably not.
Yeah, like Sal has explained he goes on adventures a lot because of his pet, but I don't think Win has like kind of like realized exactly what that when Sal meant that he goes on adventures a lot, he means it.
Yeah, no, probably not.
Yeah.
But
That's
also,
gonna be
go ahead.
you first. You first.
I mean, on one hand, he also goes on more adventures than he's let on.
Yeah. So it's just a handshake emoji.
Yeah. I think Win with batter all over his face is just going to wipe it off with his apron and then try again.
Yeah. And as he's doing that, Mersel again waits until Winn has started before going, you know, how I first re-met with Miss Fava?
How is that?
How we first got reunited? We met in the Studios, of course, and we decided to catch up in a nearby cafe. So we
Hmm.
went there to go get drinks and a meal, and then the paparazzi found us, so we had to run away from them.
Ah, yes, I forgot. Miss Madame Baba is famous movie actor
Yes,
actress.
it's easy to forget. Marcel's nodding, like, yep, he forgets too sometimes.
I'm trying very hard to wrap my head around the whole movie business thing. Um, the girls
Oh,
have been
don't get
showing
me.
me more of the movies, and I've been trying to understand them. My God.
Yeah, and Marcel's kind of like nodding, like, oh no, I totally get it. I may work at a movie studio myself, beyond what Miss Vega and my partners and you know my friends are in. I myself don't have any inherent interest in movies.
Mm,
I
understandable.
think, I mean, I can appreciate a good movie when I'm watching it. But they aren't stuff that I would seek out myself. I prefer books.
I would give you a handshake, but unfortunately, I am covered in batter.
Yep, that you are.
And he's laughing as he puts his hand in the batter as after pouring it out, and he's going to start
Hmm.
rolling it out, and he is casting something.
Oh,
He is casting. What are you casting, buddy? Featherfall.
oh, amazing! Does the batter just start spinning in midair?
No, but it does get super light and fluffy.
Oh yeah. Think like as he watches Win cast magic, like something comes to mind, and it's just like, oh, actually, how's your magic been?
God damn it.
Hmm. What a long, suspicious silence.
Where's your deception, buddy? Actually, no, that's a one. I don't even think he can. Um, it
Oh,
it
goodness,
sure is
darling,
magic.
that's a net one.
Yeah, that's a nat one for a whiz save. He freezes almost, and there is definitely a long silence before he just kind of smiles tiredly. I would prefer to save that discussion for a different day if you don't mind.
I. Okay, now Marcel's slightly concerned. He shakes his head and he nods, and he starts talking about baking and stuff like that instead. He doesn't really pry, and like if Win wants to talk about this like some other day, like Zell doesn't mind.
E. And I think when
Mm.
we'll continue to chat about anything and everything and ask
Mm.
some not really intentionally prying questions. It's more so along the lines of just trying to get to know Mersel better. Like
Mhm. Yay.
talk about
And
friends,
like,
family,
yeah, Sal would happily gush about his friends and his family.
and Win is enjoying every second of it. And also continuously baking. He's baking a lot. And also infusing
Yeah.
shit with magic. A lot of things tend to explode.
Yeah, it's fine. Everything is fine. Cell has plot armor and also prestidigitation. They can fix things up even if stuff does explode.
Winn is absolutely encouraging Mersel to engage in the shenanigans and fake things and maybe make
Cell
them explode.
Cell is engaging in the shenanigans, but what do I even roll to see how well like his like magic integrates with this arcana?
I've been using performance.
Alright, let's do performance. It's a nat 20. Yeah, fucking when your patches are exploding and you look over to Marcel and somehow his magic is like integrating with everything like seamlessly. That's a nat fucking 20.
Winn is definitely playing around when he starts giving Marcel shit. Like he's being a butt, but it's not malicious. If anything, it's one of the ways that he shows that he's proud of the fact that Marcel is doing so well.
Yeah, I imagine like he's Marcel is limited to just cantrips, which probably helps a little because cantrips have lower magic output.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and most of like, and it's like stuff like um, frostbite, like that to help cool things off and shit like that.
Yee.
Yeah. And
I know that there's
I'm
another
trying.
FPS directly after this one.
We have 2 minutes, and I'm gonna say that as they're talking, Marcel's just like Marcel again waits for Win to put his hand in some better and goes. And if we're talking about recent events, I recently befriended a con man. Another one. I mean.
What? You know what? I'm I am not going to question that. I'm not going.
Marcel going continuing. Oh yeah, there was a poaching incident in a lantern festival I was attending. This man had hired the poachers, but I didn't know about that, and I asked him for help to save a little kid who got separated from his parents. We went to save the little kid. It turns out the little kid was actually just taking care of the sea monster, the same sea monster that the man had hired the poachers to basically get a skill from. The poachers arrived to kill the sea monster. He went, oh, the deal is off, but the poachers refused. We fought them until they agreed to let themselves get arrested, and then we let the con man go. And I visited him some time ago. It was nice.
I really should not be surprised by how wild some of these stories can be.
And like Rochelle like grunts at Win and goes, he it's well, I know Miss Viva and other people are often worried about it, but he didn't try to hurt us, and quite frankly, I know that makes my bar kind of low, but he didn't try to hurt us, and he didn't seem malicious. Hell, if anything, Marcel shrugs at this. He mentioned that actually when I went to visit him, he said that the town that he's been living in has kind of been feeling kind of down lately. So he asked me to cook for asked me to cook for the town.
Hmm.
You can roll intelligence if you like.
I will be rolling intelligence. 1 second.
21. When
Yoo.
you can't be sure. You can't be fully sure because again, like this is secondhand account. You can't help but have the nagging suspicion that maybe like the con man charged people for self cooking.
Hmm.
Free labor job.
Mm-hmm. He he doesn't know exactly how to respond to that, but he is just smiling softly. He's happy that Mersel is having fun, making friends,
Me.
and he's just enjoying the time that's being spent.
When I love with the silver.
I
I
love
love
them
him
both
so
so
much.
much. Ah!
Mm. God, I'm just, and I think we can end the FPS here on them like baking together.
Yes. Um, I will say before we end it, there might be a point in which Winn tries to be a butt and smear some batter on him, on Marcel.
Oh my God, let me make a tech save. That's 14.
Let me make an attack roll. What do I even make an attack roll with? God.
Just I think dexterity, I guess, because your strength's bad. So I'd say dexterity.
Come on. Dice parser,
Parser?
please.
Oh, yep. You get the better on him. But I hope you realize this means that Saul's gonna strike back, right?
Oh, absolutely. I'm imagining it's just a batter war.
Yeah, it is definitely just a better war.
I think that's a great way to end it. Just them just flinging batter at each other at this point.
Yes.